right? This is all the kind of tribalism that was there. For Arabs, tribalism and partisanship was a big thing, right? So these people knew, And so, anyway, so this, I want to just read out the report of Zayd ibn Thabit. He said that Abu Bakr sent for me Maqtala Ahl al-Yamama, when the Battle of Yamama happened, this battle. And he said that when I came to Abu Bakr, I found Umar ibn Khattab with him, right? And Abu Bakr, he said, Umar came to me, and he said to me that indeed, he said, Umar came to me and he said that the killing, the bloodshed has become severe on the day of Yamama, and many of the Qurra have died. Many of the reciters of the Quran have died. And he said, وَإِنِّي أَخْشَى إِنِ اسْتَحَرَّ الْقَتْلُ بِالْقُرَّاءِ بِالْمَوَاطِنِ فَيَذْهَبَ كَثِيرٌ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. I fear that if this carries on, some of the Quran will be lost, or much of the Quran will be lost. And I think that you should order that the Quran be collected, be collated, be brought together. And then Abu Bakr said this. I said to Umar, Abu Bakr is telling Zayd, I said to Umar, كيف نفعل شيئا لم يفعله رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. How can I do something the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم didn't do? The Prophet didn't bring the Quran together, right? How can I do that? But and so you can see the hesitation to do anything that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم hasn't done. That's an important lesson to take. If the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam hasn't done anything in terms of religious matters, not talking about cars and planes or what you wear or that kind of stuff. If the Prophet sallallahu hasn't done something in terms of religious matters, we should be very, very careful. And this was the attitude that they had, this hesitation. And qala Umar, but Umar said to me, but wallahi this is khair. This is good, right? This is good. فَلَمْ يَزَلْ عُمَرُ يُرَاجِعُنِي حَتَّى شَرَحَ اللَّهُ صَدْرِي لِذَلِكَ. He said, but Umar kept on pressing me, kept on urging me until Allah opened my heart and I became convinced. Yeah? And I came to see what Umar saw. I agreed with him. And then Zayd said that Abu Bakr said, Zayd, you are رَجُلٌ شَابٌ عَاقِلٌ لَا نَتَّهِمُكَ وَقَدْ كُنْتَ تَكْتُبُ الْوَحْيَ لِرَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ فَتَتَبَّعِ الْقُرْآنَ فَاجْمَعْهُ. You are a man who's young, who's intelligent. We don't accuse you, i.e. we trust you. And you used to be one of the scribes of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So follow the Quran or search out the Quran, track it down and collect it. So this is what Abu Bakr says to him. So one interesting thing here is, when you read these things, there's an insight into the psychology of these people, right? They're very intelligent people. So what are the four qualities that he's mentioned of Zayd ibn Thabit? What are these? I've just mentioned them, and why do you think they're relevant? So what does he say? He's young. You're young, right? Shab, right? You're young, right? So Abu Bakr is saying, look, you're young. And what does that mean? You're young. Maybe he's got energy. Maybe his memory is intact, right? Because when you get older, sometimes your memory starts to fail, right? Yeah? And then the next one is aqil, intelligent. So what do you think? It's an important quality to have, isn't it? When you're talking about the Quran, you need to choose somebody who's intelligent, right? When we're talking about people who are going to be offering their services to the community, teaching them and preaching to them, they need to be intelligent. They need to be academically bright, right? We can't have a situation where the top people go into medicine or dentistry and engineering, and then the least top people, if you like to put it that way, go into our religious sciences. Our history was never like that. The geniuses went to the religious sciences, and the religious sciences need geniuses. They need geniuses, and we have a problem. We don't have geniuses today. These early people, Abu Hanifa, Malik, Shafi'i, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Bukhari, Muslim, these geniuses, really amazing people, right? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually prophesied, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَقْبِضُ الْعِلْمَ إِنْتِزَاعًا يَنْتَزِعُهُ مِنَ الْعِبَادِ. ولكن يقبض العلم بقبض العلماء حتى إذا لم يبقي عالما اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا أفتوا بغير علم فضلوا وأضلوا. So the hadith is that the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah doesn't take away knowledge by plucking it from people's hearts. He takes away knowledge by the death of ulama. And we talked about what ulama meant yesterday, right? And part of what an alim means is that you're intelligent, right? And you use your mind. The Quran was talking about using your mind, was it not? In all of those verses practically. People who use their mind, don't people who just inherit knowledge and without thinking about it, without being critical about it. You have to be critical. That's, sorry?
Para. Like para.
Like, yeah, if you want to use that term. Abu Yusuf and Muhammad ibn Hassan Shaybani, they differed with Abu Hanifa in 1/3 of his madhab. You know why? Because they use their mind. And somebody actually said to Abu Yusuf, your teacher is more intelligent than you. And why do you differ with him? He goes, Abu Hanifa, my teacher, will be judged for his understanding and I will be judged for my understanding. Right? So this is a really, really important, and the Quran always, it impresses upon us this need to be, that doesn't mean we're dismissive. It doesn't mean that we're arrogant. We are humble, right? We appreciate the contributions, but the only isma is for the Quran and the Sunnah. Everybody else is subject to review. Everybody else is. And so, anyway, so he said, Zayd ibn Thabit, actually, let me tell you about something. If you read the books of biography, the Prophet ﷺ asked him to learn Hebrew, right? Hebrew. And the books of biography say that he went to the Jews of Medina, and in 17 days he learned Hebrew. In 17 days, right? This was aqil, he's intelligent, right? And it's possible. Also partly because Hebrew is not so far from Arabic anyway. There's an element of that actually, right? It's a Semitic language, and that's Semitic, but you still have to be intelligent to learn a language in 17 days. But anyway, La nattahimuk, we trust you, and you used to also be a scribe of the Prophet ﷺ. So anyway, and then Zayd ibn Thabit said this, look at this. He said, فَوَاللَّهِ, by God, لَوْ كَلَّفُونِي نَقْلَ جَبَلٍ مِنَ الْجِبَالِ مَا كَانَ أَثْقَلَ عَلَيَّ مِمَّا أَمَرَنِي بِهِ مِنْ جَمْعِ الْقُرْآنِ. If they had tasked me or charged me with moving a mountain from one place to another, Mount Uhud, or any mountain, I don't know, Mount Everest, or K2, or whatever, right? Then it would have been easier for me than what they told me to do. It would have been easier for me, because he understands the significance and the grandeur and the weight of this Quran. This was in their hearts. These were people who knew the power of the Quran. Right? And this is something we need to do, is that we need to revive the weight of the Quran in our hearts, the weight of the Sunnah in our hearts. So then if somebody says, for example, that you can prevent women from going to the mosque, and the Prophet ﷺ said, لا تمنعوا إماء الله مساجد الله, right? Don't prevent women from going to the mosques. Then the gravity of the Sunnah puts that into pales, reduces that statement that women can't go to the mosque into insignificance. The Prophet ﷺ, in fact, Abdullah ibn Umar, his son Bilal said, Abdullah ibn Umar said this, لا تمنع إماء الله مساجد الله. He mentioned this hadith once, and his son Bilal ibn Abdullah ibn Umar, he said, by God, we are going to prevent our women. And the hadith says that he became so angry with him that he cursed him like never, like sabbahu sabban lam yasubbahu mithlahu qabl. That he abused him in such a way that he never abused him before like that. He said, I'm saying to you what the Prophet ﷺ is saying, and you're saying that you're going to do the opposite. You're going to do the opposite, right? And then, in one narration, he actually even apparently slapped him, I think, but I'm not sure how strong that is. Anyway, so coming back to the sorry, I didn't finish. And then Abu Bakr, he said, Abu Bakr kept on pressing me until I began to agree with him. And so I began to gather the Quran, collect the Quran from palm leaves, from tablets and the hearts of men, until I found the end of Surah At-Tawbah with a Sahabi called Abu Khuzaym al-Ansari. I didn't find it with anybody apart from him, and that was the verse, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ عَزِيزٌ عَلَيْهِ مَا عَنِتُّمْ until the end of Surah Al-Bara'ah. I think Malik, you recited this yesterday, didn't you? Was it this verse? Yeah, this is the verse you recited. In Malik recited this in Isha prayer. And these, and he says that these suhuf, these pages, these scrolls remained with Abu Bakr until he died, and then with Umar for all his life, and then with Hafsa, the daughter of Umar, until she died, and etc. etc. Okay, so that's the phase of Abu Bakr. I'm supposed to be engaging in a lot of conversation here, but I'm not sure how to, as I'm giving this particular bit, because it's just historical, right? I suppose I can introduce some things. I'm going to be introducing something, inshallah, after I finish this, which hopefully you'll find very, very interesting. But I forgot to do this activity. I wanted you to. Shall I do it now? Actually, I think I'll finish this off first. Okay, so yes, please do. Yeah, it's good. Break it up because I don't want to just keep on talking because they don't. That's not the intent here. Yeah. The final. The word of Allah. Yeah.